Hello. So today we will deal about the buffalo breeds of India are concerned, and there are many breeds are there, and we will concentrate on those breeds which are important in aspect. So buffalo in the India, the population is about 109.85 million buffaloes are there, and at the same time the total buffalo has increased to the extent of 1.1% over the previous livestock census. Then the female buffalo population is increased by 8.61, whereas male buffalo is declined by 42.35 over previous census. So there is a great decline, and about 20.5% of the total livestock is contributed by the buffaloes in India. So this is a graph which shows the population of the buffaloes comparatively from 2012 to 2019. So the buffalo population in the year 2019, and if we say that total buffalo population is 109.85, whereas it is 108 point the in the year 2012, and total male it has decreased 9.28, whereas the female it has increased. Whereas the in-milk buffaloes, there is just slight increase, whereas the dry buffaloes, it is same. Then milk animals plus dry animals, it is declined by 10.2% is concerned. Hence, there is a drastic decline in the milking buffaloes during the last 7 years from 2012 to 2019. Of course, we need to see how the trend is there during the year 2024 as the population counting is going on. Then the total buffalo, male and female milk animals, it is there. Then, as usual, it is 108.70 and 109.85. So there is a increase in the total number of the buffaloes 1.06% only, whereas drastic decrease in the male buffaloes to the extent of 40%. Almost it is half of the buffalo population, whereas the females it has been increased to 8.61, and in milk it is increased to 4.34. Dry decreased, milk animals plus dry it is just 0.22% increase. So buffalo population in the major states as per the 2019 census of Government of India, Uttar Pradesh has got highest number of the buffaloes. Uh, it is 33.3 millions over 30.6 million. Rajasthan is followed, then Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, Andhra Pradesh, Haryana, Maharashtra, Telangana, and Punjab. And Karnataka and other thing, there are very less number of the buffaloes. Less than 1 million buffaloes are there. Whereas it is Punjab is the last one when compared to the Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh, you can see that highest number of the buffalo population is there. And these buffaloes are contributing to the extent of 42% of the milk yield. Then the major status, the buffalo population, you can see that in Andhra Pradesh, the buffalo population is decreased. Haryana, it is drastically decreased, and with followed by the Punjab. Uttar Pradesh, it is increased to the extent of 7.81, whereas Madhya Pradesh, it is markedly increased to the extent of 20.28. Then, coming to the buffalo breeds, etc., the water buffalo evolved from the wild Asian water buffalo, which has diverted from about 9 lakh years ago. So the two types of the water buffaloes, there are river buffaloes and swamp buffaloes, which have descended from different populations and evolved in separate regions. So the swamp buffalo is majorly divided into the Bubalis caravanensis. So the water buffalo is divided into two main uh, subspecies. So, majorly the buffaloes are classified into river and swamp buffaloes, and different populations are evolved in separate region. The water buffalo or river buffalo is divided into two main subspecies. One is swamp buffalo and the river buffalo. So river buffalo is known as Bubalis or Bubalis. So this is the zoological name of the river buffalo. Then the ancestors of the buffaloes are from wild, and you can see here it is from Cinerus. Bivalus species is from the Cinerus. Then the Mediterranean species is from bivalus, and it is from Bangladesh. And Jafrabad is also from the same breed. Whereas the another thing, Buffalo deprecicornis. So it is from the Cambodia, Buffalo Carabo. It is from Vietnam and Myanmar and other thing. So here you can see that the buffaloes have been evaluated from the wild and later being domesticated. So the buffaloes are belonging to class Mammalia, then family Bovidae, then subfamily Bovinae, then tribe Bovinae, then they are classified into the bovina or cattle, which is containing 60 chromosomes. Then Vivalina, it is called as the Asian buffaloes. Then another species called as the Sincerina. It's also known as the African buffalo, whereas the Asian water buffalo is called as Bibalis. So, water buffaloes are once again classified into river buffaloes, which has got 50 chromosomes, and swamp buffaloes, which they have got the just 48 chromosomes. So river buffaloes, just like the bisons, etc., you can see here, they have got 50 chromosomes. Whereas the river buffaloes, which most of the people rear, do contain 48 chromosomes. Then the buffaloes have evolved about 9 lakh years back, and all these are belonging to the Bovidae family: ox, zebu cattle, banteng, ghayal, gaur, bison, Waiset, yak, river buffalo, then swamp buffalo, tamaro, Enoa, then African buffalo. So these are classified, and the first ox to yak, they are belonging to the same Bovidae family, whereas from river buffalo to African buffalo, they are belonging to the another category. So here you can also see that the different ruminants, starting from Bos indicus, Bos taurus cattle, then Bos javanicus, then Censurus cafer, bison, bivalus. Then most of these things are evolved from the same genera or the same species sometimes. However, the chromosome number is little bit varying from one to another. So these subspecies evolved from wild ancestors, water buffalo, that is Bubalus arni, which is native to the Indian subcontinent and Southeast Asia. So, fossil records and genetic studies suggest that wild or water buffaloes have been around for millions of years, adapting to wetland and riverine environments in Asia. Then the domestication started. Earlier, all the buffaloes were wild buffaloes. Then the domestication started with a time frame of the 4,000 to 5,000 years ago, just whereas the buffaloes were there in this earth from 9 lakh years, 9 million years, whereas genetic evidence and archaeological findings indicate that domestication events may have occurred independently in different regions such as the India, China, Southeast Asia. So earlier the buffaloes were wild and they were being domesticated by the human being. Whereas we have got two important domestication center, the river buffaloes, primarily domesticated in the Indian subcontinent, whereas these buffaloes are adapted for drier conditions and are known for their milk production also. So they are the most common type of the water buffaloes used in dairy production across India, number one, then Pakistan and the Middle East. Whereas swamp buffalo is domesticated in China and Southeast Asia. So these buffaloes are better suited for working in the rice paddy fields due to their ability to thrive in swampy and marshy areas. So they are typically used for drought work rather than milking production. So the swamp buffaloes and the history says that buffaloes were spread across the Asia and buffaloes became crucial to the agrarian societies where the agriculture is one of the main source of the income because the buffaloes were very sturdy and they have got very good ability to work in fields that other animals could not manage, especially in the areas like waterlogged areas. And buffaloes were crucial for plowing the rice paddies in Southeast Asia and China, adding rice agriculture significantly. So they have contributed to a greater extent. Then Middle East and Europe, the water buffaloes, especially the river buffaloes, they spread the westward through trade and conquest, reaching the Middle East, Iran, and later Europe also. And buffaloes meat is also one of the delicious meat to many countries, especially the Middle East, Iran, and the Europe. The presence of buffaloes in Italy and the Balkans dates back to least 17th century CE, and these regions they are mainly used for dairy purpose such as producing mozzarella cheese in the Italy. So everywhere these buffaloes are present. Then Africa and other part of the world also later occupied with different types of the buffaloes. So in modern times, water buffaloes are introduced into the Egypt and part of Africa and South America through colonization and global trade networks. Many people they took the buffaloes there, and now the buffaloes have been bred in the Egypt, Africa, Southeast America, etc. Water buffaloes are introduced into the Brazil in 19th century, where they are now used for both milk and meat production, just like the Zebu cattle. And the buffaloes have got very high genetic diversity, and lot of breeds are there. The buffaloes. So during the over a period of long time, selective breeding led to the development of many breeds suited for different geographical area, different purposes such as dairy, drought, and meat production. And especially in case of India, Murra and Niliravi breeds are well known for their very high yield milk, and also the Sooty buffaloes were also introduced. Then Southeast Asia breeds like the Philippine, Carabao are the more suited for drought work. Then genetic studies say that the modern genetics show that the river and swamp buffaloes have distinct genetic lineages, confirming their separate domestication events. Then crossbreeding between these types is very rare, river and the swamp buffaloes, because they have different chromosome numbers, whereas the river buffaloes, they have the chromosome number like 50, whereas the chromosome of swamp buffaloes is about 48, is 48. So the cross breeding between these animals is not possible. Hence, everyone should understand this thing. If there is a chromosomal difference, the breeding cannot be done. Then here is a map which shows the proposed disposal patterns of both river and the swamp buffaloes. So the dashed arrow indicates that early independent migration that have been led river buffaloes into the Europe. Many of the European countries, these buffaloes are from taken from the India to many other part of the country. Then here also the swamp buffaloes, they moved from the this part of the Asia and other countries to different parts of different islands, including all these areas. You can note it down like the Europe also. Then the global distribution of the Asian water buffaloes is this one. Here you can see that dense population is from the 67 countries. So here it is there. In India, you can see that highest number of the buffaloes are there, whereas the seven range it is in crores. Here you can see. In Australia, it is coming under the region 4, means 1 lakh to 10 lakhs buffaloes. So this by this you can also see that the American countries do also have the Asian water buffaloes. Later they have migrated, whereas in Antarctica and other countries and the southern part of the Africa, they do not have much buffalo population. Then here is the genetic background of Asian water buffalo revealed by admixture of the microsatellites. There you can see that the Nepal, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, China, they have got the buffaloes with the admixture of the population, then South China, then Southwest China, all these countries to have the buffaloes with different breeds like Murra. In Murra, the Brazil is one of the country where the Murra buffalo is also there. So, so different type of the buffaloes are present in different parts of the world. Then this is the distribution of mtDNA haplogroups in different regions of the world, and data from S2 is this is taken from the phylogenetic relationship among the haplogroups are given in the bottom left. So here you can see then R3, R1 and R2 are the classifications, especially river buffaloes, whereas these are all the river buffaloes areas, whereas the swamp buffalo areas are this, Whereas India is containing more and more river buffaloes. That's also one in the nature. Here you can see the this morphological variations in Asian water buffalo breeds. That's the Shanghai swamp type of the China. That's A, followed by Tharoja spotted swamp type from Indonesia. So the sailhead swamp type of the Bangladesh is the C, whereas Mediterranean river type it is the Murra river type of India A B C D E. This is Murra buffalo. Then the Niliravi etc. are also from Pakistan. So accordingly, it changes from area to area. Then let us come to the buffalo breeds of India is concerned. Breed is already defined as the homogeneous subspecific group identified with the external characters from the other classes defined group in the same species. So the breeds are the one by morphological characteristics we are going to differentiate them by external appearance. That's called as the phenotypic appearance. So this is the taxonomical classification of the buffaloes. Kingdom is very big, that's the Animalia. Phylum is Chordata. Class Mammalia. Order Artiodactyls. Suborder Ruminantia. Family Bovidae. Subfamily Bovinae. Genus Bibalis. Then finally the species is Bibalis ernae or Bibalis bibalus. Then buffaloes come under the tribe bovini. Three groups are there: bovina, cattle and bison. Then bibalina, Asian buffalo. Then the third variety is Cincercina, that is African buffalo. So interbreeding is not possible between the three. It is impossible because the chromosome number changes. Asian is similar to African but differ from cattle by the horn cattle, oval horn, whereas the buffalo is angular horn. Then real buffalo is here, African buffalo, that genus Sincerus. It is whereas the Cape buffalo, it is having the red buffalo. It is totally different type of the buffalo with is not having the skin dark color skin. Then real buffalo is Asian buffalo. Then the genus Babalus, wild bison, Babalus irni, Temerau, Babalus, Mindor Sertai, then Mountain Anona, then Babalus Qualsai. All these are the different breeds of the buffaloes, and some of them were wild earlier. Then domestication of the buffaloes in India happened because the descended from wild Asian buffaloes which are present in Assam. Later they are domesticated. And two types of the buffaloes, swamp and river type of the buffaloes. Swamp buffaloes, they survive even with the adverse climate, whereas the river buffaloes cannot. Then domestication started in China. First time it is domesticated in China about 4,000 years ago. So in the river Indo-Gigantic region, it is about 5,000 years ago. Then two types of the domestic buffalo. See, we can classify them as usual: swamp buffalo and the river buffalo. So the swamp buffalo is present in Southeast Asia, whereas river buffalo is present in South Asia. So, stocky pot belly, the swamp buffalo, whereas the river buffaloes are taller, longer swimmer body, horn in plane of the head, whereas in case of river buffaloes, the curly horns are there. Whereas the swamp buffalo is color having gray with white legs, 1 to 2 white bands on the throat, whereas completely black in case of the river buffalo. So the chromosomes that's diploid is 48 in case of the Southeast Asia buffaloes or swamp buffaloes. In river buffalo, it is 50. Whereas in case of swamp buffalo, penis adheres to the belly and scrotum is 10 centimeter long only. Whereas the river buffalo penis hangs clear, scrotum pendulous. Then swamp buffalo, the examples are Manipuri and Assami. River buffalo, it is Murra buffalo. Whereas the swamp buffaloes are not divided into much, whereas many breeds plus local desi breeds are present in the river buffalo. So the swamp buffaloes are always used for plowing, cart pulling, draught, meat, if not milk. Used for plowing river buffaloes, but also with the milk constituent. Then wallow in mud pools, but these river buffaloes they prefer to bath in clean water, river buffaloes or murra buffaloes. Swamp buffaloes are always like the dirty water. There are 72 breeds of the buffaloes in the world. 72. Please remember this thing. Then India has 10 very well known or recognized breeds of the cattle or the buffaloes. No, sorry. So, 12 lesser known breed. Purebred animals of specific breeds from about 20 to 25% of the total buffalo population. Then total world population of the buffaloes is 2005 it is 174 millions. So now it has increased to 160 million. So it is increased to a greater extent. Then riverine buffaloes, the examples are Murra, then in case of the Gujarat, Jafrabadi, Mehsana and Soti, whereas Uttar Pradesh it is Bundwari, then Tarai buffaloes. Central India, Jerangi, Kalahandi, Menda, Nagpuri, Pandrapuri, then Sambalpuri, then Marathwada. All these are the Maharashtra is one of the state where emerging buffalo population is being there. And South India, South Kannada, then Thoda, then Godavari. All these are the three types of the breeds of the buffaloes. Then well-known breeds are Murra breeds, Nili Ravi, Bandwari, Sorti, Mehsana, Jafrabadi, Nagpuri, Thoda, then Pandrapuri, Marathwada. Then less known number of the buffaloes are the Bani, Tarai, Kuttanad, South Kannada, Mandya, Zirangi, Kalahandi, Sambalpuri, Godavari, and Assamese and Manipuri, and many more local breeds are there. And thanks for patient hearing. And